Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hey, it's week 15. This is another edition of Clutch Sports Talk NFL Primetime with me, Ryan Flowers, going to get you guys locked and loaded for the Sunday night matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Let's go. Clutch Sports Talk NFL Primetime is presented by All Pro Digital Sports, the future in sports media content. Let's go. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Sunday's actions today was been pretty good all the way from the morning up until now. We still got the Chiefs and the Saints still duking it out. I believe the Chiefs just kicked a field goal, so they're now up 10 points, 32-22, with I believe under 4 minutes here short. So other than that, man, I want to kind of get you guys in and locked and loaded for the Sunday night game. But before I do that, I want to break down all of the other days' action and scores around the NFL for week 15. But before I do that, make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram under clutch.sports.talk, as well as YouTube under Clutch Sports Talk as well. Look me up on the All Pro Digital YouTube page. You can find me there. And finally, at Twitter, at Clutch_talk. So this episode is brought to you by All Pro Sports, the sports media content leader of the world. That's why I said it, of the world. Well, not yet, but soon to be. But other than that, I want to get you guys ready for these Sunday night games. But before that, I want to break down the games and the schedules from what took place today. So sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, so that's why I ended up getting on the show late. But if you guys are in the room, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys leave a comment for me. If you have any questions, make sure you drop that in the comment section down below or wherever you're viewing it at, and I'll be sure to answer those questions. So first things first, let's get into the games today. The first game, this is one of the afternoon games. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers roll into Atlanta and defeat the Atlanta Falcons. They came back. Once again, the Atlanta Falcons just erode in the second half and blow another lead. And not only do they blow a lead, they blow another lead to Tom Brady. The Buccaneers were basically outcoached, outplayed throughout most of this game, and they were able to still somehow pull off the win. I keep pulling for Atlanta because I think that they do have some talent. They have some good pieces and parts on that roster. I don't know if it's time to get rid of Matt Ryan yet. He can still play at a high level. It's something about this Atlanta Falcons team. It's like they don't know how to finish games, and it shows, and it's showing up a lot, especially this year. A lot of these games that they lost, they probably end up should have winning these games, and today was a prime example of that. They end up falling to Tampa Bay, who was basically, Bruce Arians just got outcoached, but they had better star play, and they were able to kind of just nail it down in the end, and they end up winning the game anyway. So next game, a clash in the NFC Central. NFC North. The Chicago Bears go on the road to Minnesota and basically, deliver a very striking blow to the Vikings. I thought the Vikings would have played a lot better. They kind of made it close, but the Bears actually looked really well. They ran the ball well with David Montgomery. Mitchell Trubisky did not look all the way bad. The Vikings, to me, they have talent, and I feel like their talent on that team has been wasted. Is Mike Zimmer a good coach? I mean, he's not terrible, but I don't know if he's able to carry this team to the next level per se. Year in and year out, they have one of the better rosters. They have a great running game with Dalvin Cook. You have weapons on the outside. They drafted Jefferson. You got Thielen, and they still just, I believe now they're 6-8 now, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. It's just, if you're a Vikings fan, it's definitely a headbanger. It's a head scratcher. I get it's a divisional game, but still, I felt like you still had the better team overall. And I got to give credit to Chicago Bears. This thing could have went south really quickly. Their defense is playing pretty stout. As long as their quarterback play is somewhat decent, they should be able to win a lot of games in the National Football League. And that's what they did today. So they go on the road and defeat the Vikings 33-27. All right, so we got the Dolphins. They're not going to win the AFC East because that was done by Buffalo Bills yesterday. So shout out to the Buffalo Bills for winning the AFC East since I forgot the last time they won it. It's been a long time. It's actually 2008 was the last time someone other than the Patriots won the AFC East. So shout out to that, right? But the Patriots now, with this loss today, they have been eliminated from playoff contention. So you will not see Bill Belichick and the Patriots in the playoffs this year. Cam Newton's probably done. For the rest of the year, they're probably going to shut him down, and they're probably going to play Stidham or some other young guys that they got. And I think maybe Hoyer, but more than likely, they're probably going to get Stidham in there. Cam Newton will not be a New England Patriot. That's my guess going into next offseason. I think they're going to try to focus on maybe drafting a quarterback or moving elsewhere. We thought it might have been a good fit. It just wasn't. He's not the same quarterback he was before. I get it. He was an MVP. He made a Super Bowl, but that's a long time ago. And unfortunately for you Cam Newton fans, and I was a Cam Newton fan. I still am to a certain extent. It's just not it for them. This team, they don't have any weapons on offense really that they can kind of go to. They don't have a legitimate running back, a number one wide receiver. And I get it's not all Cam's fault. And Tom Brady did mask a lot of those issues while he was there. But that's part of the reason why Tom Brady decided to leave anyway, because there just wasn't enough food in the pantry there to get the job done. And so with this loss today, the Dolphins have eliminated the New England Patriots from playoff contention. So next game I want to talk about, the Ravens and the Jags. Not really much to say here. The Ravens coming off of that thrilling come from behind win against the Browns from Monday Night Football. They just destroyed the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they have the tiebreaker for the number one draft pick with the Jets winning. I'll get to that here later on too. But Jags, they're done. They need a whole overhaul, from the quarterback to the head coach to the management. Jacksonville. It's funny. This team was just in an AFC championship game not that long ago. And to see where they're at now, it's pretty sad, actually. It's really sad. So unfortunately for Jaguars fans, it doesn't look promising other than the fact that you may get a top quarterback, whether it's Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or something like that. All right, Seattle and the Washington football team. This was an interesting game. It looked like it could have been a trap game for the Seattle Seahawks, but they handled it really well. Russell Wilson comes into Washington and defeats the Washington football team. Now, Alex Smith did not start today. Dwayne Haskins got the start. Didn't look really bad, but did have some timely interceptions that led to the demise of the Washington football team. And now they're back in like a battle now in the NFC East, which is very interesting to say that mostly every team that's in the NFC East is kind of still in it, and I'll touch bases on that really quickly here just before we get out of here. But the Washington football team, their defense can only do so much. Their offense needed to score. They just couldn't get it. Some field goals, just not going to be enough when you're playing the likes of Russell Wilson, who has weapons that he can, throw to at his disposal. All right, Titans and Lions. This game was kind of interesting. The Lions kind of made a nice little push, a comeback, but in the end, the Titans just was able to overtake them. Derrick Henry is, honestly, he should probably be considered for MVP. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comment sections. Am I crazy for thinking that he should be an MVP candidate? I don't think so. I mean, the guy almost rushed for 100 yards in the first half. And yet again today, he basically punked another defensive player let me just say this. His stiff arms are probably the most disrespectful stiff arms I've ever seen in football now. And he's got a library of them now, at least 4 or 5 dating back to college that I can remember. He stiff armed the crap out of Earl Thomas. Who was other? Josh Norman, some other guys that I don't even know. This dude is a beast. He is the premier running back in the National Football League. There's no doubt about that. And you can pull up your stats. You can do this and the numbers. But at the end of the day, this guy should be considered, as one of the top running backs, if not the top running back in all of the NFL, and he should get a vote for the MVP slot. And the Titans continue to roll. They kind of stay on top of the AFC South with the Colts kind of trailing them right behind them. So it's going to be very interesting between these two teams moving down with the last 2 weeks of the season. So speaking of the Colts, they pull out a squeaker against the Texans. Deshaun Watson, valiant effort is just not enough. He doesn't have enough help there. And again, week to week, I always say this. If you're a Houston Texans fan, it sucks because you have no light at the end of the tunnel. This team basically struggles. You got guys like Deshaun Watson, who's a talent, but you have no one else to surround him. At the end of the day, they're looking to just get out of the season. Now, they played hard today, which you want to see that. Guys are playing for roster spots for next season, if not to be on the Texans, for other teams around the NFL. And the Colts, kind of made it a little bit too interesting for my liking. And the Colts, again, this is another team. Let's be real. They're a good, solid team. I'm not going to say they're not. Oh, excuse me. They're not. They just don't have that firepower that you need. Now they're a great team. Offensive line is probably the best offensive line in all of the professional football. But is it enough when I'm watching teams like the Chiefs and the Bills? How dynamic they are, and especially at the quarterback position, they don't have it. Phillip Rivers is what? I don't know, 105 years old. Isn't that dynamic anymore. He's not a spring chicken anymore. Their defense is good. Their running game is good. They got some nice receivers in T.Y. Hilton. But in the NFL, especially in playoffs time, when it's clutch time, you got to have that quarterback. And to me, Phillip Rivers is not that dude. I mean, they'll make the playoffs, obviously, but they won't really go far. They're not one of those elite teams I would consider moving forward. All right. The other game today, another one, the Cowboys, defeat the 49ers in a very strange game. The defense got on them early. They forced 2 fumbles, and they were able to generate that into 2 touchdowns. They let the 49ers storm back in the game because, again, one of the worst defenses in all of football, the Dallas Cowboys, But anyway, they still were able to make some stops. The defenses actually got some picks towards the end, and they solidified that win today against a beat-up San Francisco 49ers team. If any team has been bitten by the injury bug, it's the 49ers, for sure. For sure. I mean, the Cowboys have been bitten by that too, but the Niners have just been decimated throughout their whole roster, throughout their whole season. Obviously they're missing their starting quarterback like the Cowboys were. So this game was kind of interesting, but the Cowboys end up winning the game 41-33 and keeping their playoff hopes alive, which I'm going to touch base on that here shortly. But before I do that, this game right here, man, the Rams, dude, I had a bet for the Rams today to win. It was a 7-team parlay card. I picked all other 6 games correctly. All of them. And all I needed was the Rams, who were favored, I believe, by like 16 points, to just win straight up. Can't even do that. You lose to the Jets at home. Let's let that sink in. The Jets beat the LA Rams. I'm out on the Rams. I'm out on Jared Goff. He's trash. They need to do something. Their whole team isn't trash. But they don't have the quarterback, and they paid him a lot of money. And the Rams just, any talk of them being a contender this year should be thrown out the window. And I get it. Things change from week to week, and the Jets are not just going to let anybody just beat them. But you can't let the Jets beat you. And it's one thing if you weren't even like a contending team. You're considered to be a contending team, and you lose to the Jets at home. And shout out to the Jets. They played hard, man. And they've been playing hard the last couple weeks. Unfortunately, they lost that game to the Raiders, which they should have won. But Greg Williams, in all his infinite wisdom as a defensive coordinator, he let that through. But hey, the Jets, shout out to the Jets. Shout out to my cousin who's in the room right now. I know he's pumped up. Shout out to everyone that's in the room, man. Make sure you leave a comment, man. I appreciate you guys. Sandy Marie, Akeem, Earl Swazo, you guys are in here. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, the Rams, I'm out on the Rams. I don't care what they do the rest of the year. They can win the last 2 games. It doesn't matter to me. The Rams are not a contending team. So get that out of your head if you think the Rams are a legitimate contending team. Because in my opinion, there are only a few teams. And I'll kind of touch base on that here shortly. All right. So it looks like here it's a close game. Kansas City is up 32-29. There is about a minute 37, and I believe the Chiefs have the ball right now. Yeah, they're driving. So, that game is still in progress. Probably why I don't have a lot of people watching me right now, and that's part of the reason why I kind of waited a little bit, because I know this game was cooking up. But other than that, the other game, a late score, another game that just wrapped up earlier, just recently, the Arizona Cardinals defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 33-26. So now the Eagles fall to 4-9-1. Washington's loss today really helps the Cowboys. And then if the Giants somehow lose tonight, which I'll break down that game here shortly, Cowboys are kind of still in it. Now they need to win out. They need Washington to continue to lose. This division, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. Washington has a great defense, but their offense really isn't that good. Now, the Cowboys offense did not play well today, obviously. I mean, given all those injuries the Niners have, their defense is still ranked 5th overall. That's good coaching. I mean, that's really good coaching. And then the Giants defense is good. Their offense can be sometimes dynamic, I guess. And so the Philly really has probably I don't want to say they have the best chance, but they're defensive, but they're struggling too because they actually have problems in their secondary. You know, they got a lot of injuries. Jalen Hurts did not play bad today. He didn't play bad. They just, they ran into a better team today in Arizona. Let me get those stats for you guys so you guys can figure out. So Jalen Hurts threw for 338 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions in his second start on the road against, I guess now the Cardinals are a playoff contending team. They hold the 7th seed at 8-6. Move. I don't want to kind of go into it because I'm going to talk about this tomorrow on my podcast, but the Eagles definitely have some explaining to do. If you watch Lucy, they got some explaining to do. But yeah, the NFC East is still not sewn up. It's definitely not sewn up. Today's game, tonight's game really with the Giants too is another one, and the Giants can kind of help themselves out if they can win. But we're still waiting on the score for the Chiefs and the Saints game because that game is coming down to the wire. But before that game is over, I'll give you my thoughts on that. Today, Saints fans, they're probably going to be mad if they lose this game, and rightfully so. I get it. But in order to beat a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're doing it now, they got 29 points up on the board. You got to score on them. You have to score because you just have to tell yourself, we're not going to hold them to under 20 points in a game. You're not. I don't care who you are. It's very rare when you see them do that. And I think maybe Denver might have. I don't know. I forgot a few weeks ago. But they're going to score their points. Now, your defense, and today the Saints actually played really good defense early and often, got them out on 3 and outs for some punts. But it's coming. Patrick Mahomes is, if not the most dynamic quarterback in all of football. He's going to make plays. He's going to find Kelsey. He's going to find Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs did not run the ball today. I mean, literally, that's not their MO. And they've never done that. That's not their thing. They're going to throw the hell out of that ball. And and it's a final. So the Chiefs hold on 32-29. And just to give you some insight on some of the box scores here, while I get that up, here's the stats. Drew Brees, 15 for 34. He threw for 234 yards, 1 interception, quarterback rating of 84.7. Mahomes threw for 47 attempts, 254, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But he was sacked 4 times today. 4 times. Okay. Edwards Helaire actually had a really good game, for the most part for the Kansas City Chiefs. He rushed for 79 yards on 14 carries, no touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell rushed for 62 yards. He got in the end zone. So they were able to run the ball today. This could be a matchup in the Super Bowl, but I don't think so because here's the thing. The Saints have Minnesota this Christmas. Yeah, this Christmas. Packers are going to be favored, and they're the number 1 seed right now. And they have the tiebreak over the Saints because they beat the Saints a few months ago on Sunday Night Football. The Packers basically are in the driver's seat. Now, Saints fans probably don't want to hear this, and it's not hate because I don't really care. I don't really have any ill will toward the Saints, but I will say this. The Saints do not want to go to Lambeau Field in January and play there. It's too cold. It's too cold. The Saints are, The Saints are traditionally a dome team. Obviously, that's what they play at. They don't play well in the cold. That's not their thing. Not saying that they can't win in the cold, but Drew Brees is older. He's got those cracked ribs. They have a running game, but they don't have a running game because we all know the Packers' Achilles heel is what? Physicality. The Saints, to me, are not a very physical type of team. So therefore, the Packers and Saints match up pretty decently. And if I had to pick the Packers at home versus the Saints, I'd probably do that. Because here's the thing. I don't know how healthy Drew Brees is. Now, he's a Hall of Famer. I'm not taking that away from him. Michael Thomas is shut down for the rest of the season. Would he have made a difference today? I don't know. I don't think so because he hasn't really made a difference all year anyway. So not having him today really doesn't make a difference, in my opinion. Just being real. And I just think that the Packers have a very likable chance of making it to the Super Bowl if everything plays out in their favor. And it looks like it should. They should get the number 1 seed. They should get the first week bye. But definitely the top teams right now in the NFL are the Chiefs, Bills, Packers, Saints. That's it. After that, I don't want to hear nothing else. Everything else is rhetoric. None of it even matters anymore. Those are the top 4 teams. Now, if you're a Rams fan, oh, we're bullshitting. No, you lost to the Jets. So you're out. You're out. Cardinals, you're not going to win because your Cardinals are not ready yet. So bye. Steelers, you don't run the ball. You guys are injured at linebacker. You're done. Ravens, you're in the hunt, but really Lamar Jackson's probably going to fold under pressure again in the playoff anyway. The Browns, we'll see what happens to them tonight. But again, they're not ready for the primetime either. They may blow this one tonight too against the Giants. So there's 4 teams. Everybody else is just playing basically just to be playing and getting a check. Because right now, if the playoffs started right now, those are the 4 teams I want to see in the NFL playoffs. Everybody else, it's like, thanks for showing up. Appreciate you guys. Close the door on your way out because the other teams are going to take it from here. And that's it. And if I didn't mention your team, I'm sorry because your team doesn't even matter at this point. Hell, my Cowboys don't even matter. Yeah, sorry, Sandy Marie. I didn't mean to say that about your Steelers, but it is what it is. They're not there. I thought they were, but looking at how Kansas City played today, and Kansas City's not even playing that good. That's the crazy thing about it. The Bills are playing a lot better. So it's going to be interesting. But the Chiefs today did not even play well, and they still put up 32 points. I watched that game, and they left a lot of meat on the bone. The Saints, valiantly played a really tough game, but them losing last week to the Eagles really kind of hurt them. Friday is a must win because they don't want to fall to that 3rd spot. Steelers just lost just because they lost the 2. I get that, Eduardo. I understand that. But looking at the landscape of things, the way they were winning games, barely winning it, and I get it. That shows the true prowess of a championship contender, but they just don't match up well with these other teams moving forward. They just don't. So shout out to everyone in the comment section. Appreciate you guys, Eduardo, Sandy, Errol, William Flowers. He just joined the room. That's my dad. Shout out to him. Eduardo says, okay, so I'm going to put this question up. Eduardo says Steelers can beat the Chiefs all day. Okay. I don't think so, but I respect your opinion and thank you for leaving that opinion, because it's your opinion and I respectfully disagree with that. But hey, that's just me. I just watch football all day. This is my life. This is what I do. And it's not to say I'm not a fan of the Steelers. I like the Steelers. I like Mike Tomlin. I like Ben Roethlisberger. I like Juju. I like all their talent. But playoff football, man, you got to run the football. You have to. And if you don't, unless you're the Chiefs and you have Patrick Mahomes who can just, literally today, the Chiefs, man, I watched them like 3rd and 25. Most teams will probably just hand off to the running back or throw to the, running back out of the backfield with a check down. Not the Chiefs. In their mind, they can get 3rd and 25. And you know what? They did. They got it. So not a lot of teams can say that. Not a lot of teams can go to their playbook and say, all right, do we have a play for 3rd and 68? Oh yeah, it's on the back page of the playbook. Yeah, they do. The Chiefs do. And that's why they're never out of games. You saw that last week against the Dolphins. Most teams probably would have folded going, you go down 10 points, you end up scoring 28 unanswered. I don't see the Steelers doing that anytime soon. If the Steelers had a better running game, I would say yes, because they're gritty. They're a tough, hard-nosed, well-coached team. But they don't run the ball. They can't keep the ball away from teams, and their linebacking core is decimated. It's decimated. And these are just facts. This is not opinion. These are facts. So I'm sorry if you don't agree with that. It just is what it is. Now, if they had a running game, if their linebackers like Bud Dupree, Devin Bush were healthy, okay, I can say, maybe they can get after Mahomes. But TJ Watt can't do it all by himself if they end up meeting in the playoffs. He just can't do it by himself. So, sorry, Steeler fans, you're not one of the top 4 teams in the NFL anymore. You were for a little bit, but now you're not. So I just have to say, I have to respectfully say, you guys don't matter until maybe something else happens. But the Chiefs today could have been a real potential Super Bowl matchup, but I still like the Packers now for some reason. And I don't trust the Packers, but the way everything sets up for them, it looks really, really, really good. All right, he says, Eduardo says, shout out to Eduardo, though. Appreciate the comments. Mahomes, you keep him in the pocket with him not running. He lost, and he got okay. And that's a very valid point. But the problem with that, Eduardo, is it's hard to do that. It's very hard. It's a reason why they only have 1 loss this year. Okay. It's very hard to do that. Yes, every NFL coach says that when you play the Chiefs. You got to get after him. You got to keep him in the pocket. And these guys get paid millions of dollars. These guys have way more knowledge than you and I do. But it's easier said than done. That's why they're 13-1. That's why they're the Super Bowl champs. If it was that easy, anybody can just stop them. You can just say, hey, Mahomes, keep you in the pocket and we'll win. So respectfully, Eduardo, I agree with what you're saying, and what you're saying is not incorrect, but it's just not easy to do. And not a lot of teams have been able to do that. Even last year, the Niners in the Super Bowl had one of the best defensive lines that you can ever see in the last, 5-10 years. And he still was able to beat them. The guy's amazing. So you can't just say, well, let's just keep him in the pocket. It doesn't work like that. But appreciate you, Eduardo, man. Hey, you're the MVP, man, today. Keep bringing those comments. Thank you, everybody that's in the room. If you have any more comments, man, please make sure you drop it in there, man. I'll make sure I'll read them out and get you on here. So anyway, we are just 20 minutes out from the Browns and Giants game. So let's look into that a little bit, right? So just pulling up some information for you guys here. So the Giants and the Browns is a very pivotal game today because the Giants are looking to stay in the playoff hunt and the Browns are looking to bounce back. They're looking to bounce back from, sorry, I heard a strange noise outside. They're looking to bounce back from that loss that they had from Monday Night Football. And it was a good game. It was a very good game, very competitive game. Baker Mayfield did not look bad. He looked pretty good, given the fact that their running game is outstanding. Now, the Giants, on the other hand, Daniel Jones is out tonight. He's not playing. Colt McCoy will get the start. Jason Garrett, who's the OC of the Giants, typically, he's out on COVID. Freddie Kitchens will be the play caller tonight against his old team, the Cleveland Browns. What are my thoughts on that? Well, here's the thing. The Browns are I would say like a system team. Kevin Stefanski has brought his system over from Minnesota. The running game, play action, moving the pocket, allowing your quarterback to make easy throws, and it's benefiting them. I'm not taking any credit from them because they're 9-4 now, one of the best records that they've had. They're looking to improve to 10-4. They're going on the road tonight. It should be a tough game because the Giants are not just going to lay down. They're just not going to do that. The Giants are, for the most part, a well-coached team. I know their record doesn't say that. They've had injuries. They're missing. I mean, literally, they're missing their top player in Saquon Barkley. And you can't deny the fact that that not having Saquon Barkley does not affect them, because it does. It affects them directly because now you don't have that star superstar player that you can hand the ball off to. But they've done an amazing job just staying in the hunt. And I know I get it. It's the NFC East. Are they that great? No, they're not that great. But here are the stats for tonight. I think the line has changed. But obviously the Browns are favored on the road. The over-under was 44. This might have changed. But the Browns can score. The Browns can score, and that's without OBJ in the lineup. Why? They're running the ball. You got to run the ball in the National Football League, man. You got to run it. You just have to run the football, and they're able to do that. And they have a two-headed monster with Nick Chubb and Lamar Hunt. Excuse me, what's his name? Kareem Hunt. Excuse me, Kareem Hunt. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold out there tonight in New York in the Meadowlands. I think it's going to be a closely contested game. Freddie Kitchens does know this team. He was the head coach even though he was for a short amount of time. He was still in the building. He knows these guys. He knows their tendencies. So especially on the defense, he should be able to attack them. Colt McCoy looked really good a few weeks ago against Seattle. Does he have some magic left in order to defeat the Cleveland Browns today? A team that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he played for the Browns not that long ago. So my pick tonight, I think I'm going to go with the Browns still. So I think they're going to just be able to score a little bit more. And they still have Myles Garrett who can rush after the quarterback. Their defense is not really, their defense is actually pretty solid for Cleveland. So I'll take the Browns tonight. I know that's an easy pick, but it's going to be a close game. It's definitely going to be a close game. I don't expect a blowout. I feel like both teams should be able to contest each other really well. But in the end, I think the Cleveland Browns are going to take the win tonight. So let's read any more comments in here before I get out of here. Eduardo, let's see what he says. He says the NFC, he has the Saints and Tampa. Saints, Seahawks, and Tampa. All right, Eduardo, if you're still in here. Saints, okay. They could get in there. Seahawks, I don't know. I just don't know. I like Seahawks, and I like Russell Wilson. Tampa Bay, I'm out on Tampa Bay. You struggled against Atlanta. They've just been struggling. There's something going on. I think Bruce Arians is just getting out coached. He just needs to retire flat out. He just needs to retire. So other than that, I mean, everybody else, it's like I said, the top 4 teams, man. Kansas City, Buffalo, Packers, Saints. And maybe you can switch. Maybe you could probably put the Seahawks in there, maybe, depending on next week what happens. Because teams like that is week to week. I know, they won today. They beat the Washington football team. Wilson is a winner. I will say that. Wilson is a winner. I'm not going to take that away from him. I do like Russell Wilson, but it's a team game. Not one player can just dominate a game like that, and with the exception of like Patrick Mahomes right now, because he's literally just winning these games for Kansas City. He's literally just doing that. But with Tampa Bay, I'm out on Tampa Bay. I don't like what they got going on. I don't like their chemistry. I just don't feel the vibe. And I feel like when you get into playoff football, you're going against other teams with really good coaches. And Bruce Arians, to me, he's not it, man. I think they're going to ask him to step down, or he's going to have to quit or something, or they're going to have to fire him. But it's not working there. I mean, it's working in Tampa Bay because, yes, they're in the hunt. They're winning games. They're in a position to make the playoffs, which they haven't been able to do that in quite some time. So I will say that. But as far as them being a Super Bowl contender right now, nah, not yet. And it may not even get there because Tom Brady will be a year older. Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, I don't know. They need a running game. They need a running game. So, but other than that, Sandy Marie, she says, Tampa Bay sucks, period. Strong words. But hey, that's my time, everybody. I hope you guys enjoy this episode or this edition of Clutch Sports Talk NFL Primetime. Sunday Night Football is getting ready to kick off here shortly. Make sure you guys catch my live tomorrow. It'll be my podcast. I got a great show in store for you guys tomorrow. I got to get working on that to produce that for you guys tomorrow. So make sure you guys hit me up tomorrow right here at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time here on Facebook Live. And then if you missed it, you can always hit me up on YouTube as well. I put everything that I put out on YouTube, so that way if you're able to miss it, you can always catch up. So there's no excuses. But appreciate everyone that was in the room tonight. Shout out to All Pro Digital Sports for making everything happen, man. Appreciate everyone there. Steven and Tracy, big up to you guys and all the other All Pro Digital talent that's out there with me. But other than that, man, that's my time. I got to go. I got to get ready for this Sunday night game. Until next time, this is Clutch Sports Talk NFL Primetime with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out, guys. Clutch Sports Talk NFL Primetime, presented by All Pro Digital Sports, the future in sports media content. Let's go.